Accessing.
When TV and radio collide.
Love it.
Wow. This is what you get. You're listening to JJ and Alex.
Don't touch that dial.
On 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, everybody, welcome back. JJ and Alex, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Thanks for being with us on a Friday. We hope you've already kicked off a holiday weekend of some sort. Enjoy some Olympic coverage on KSL 5 television. Enjoy some All-Star Game festivities, also courtesy of KSL 5 TV. I haven't looked at the actual schedule the rest of the couple days here for Team USA on the ice. The women's hockey team, the quarterfinals, dicey there for a minute. It was 1-0 in the first period against Italy. They scored 5 in the second to make it a 6-0 blowout of the host country. So the women's team continuing to show their dominance. I don't know if they've given up a goal yet or not. JJ, have they?
If they did, it's 1.
Yeah, and I want to say,
dominated.
Yeah, I don't know if they've. So let me see here. Team USA on the women's side of things. Bear with me as I try to figure out what these scores looked like. So United States beat Canada 5-0, and that was right before that. And the Team USA also beat Switzerland 5-0. So they've relinquished 0 goals. Finland also 5-0. Are you seeing a pattern here?
Yeah, the women beat Czechia 5-1, so that's that 1 goal.
Oh, they did give up 1.
It was 1 to Czechia.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So,
but they beat Finland 5-0, and
Switzerland 5-0, Canada 5-0, and then 6-0 to Italy today. So
insane. That's
added
dominance.
up. It's a pretty dominant performance by the women. The men, of course, yesterday. Getting their first win in the preliminaries as well. Joining us on the program right now, Jay Stevens. He is the host of the Utah Puck Report, and he joins us all the time to talk all things hockey. Let's kick off the hour right here with The Cut and Jay Stevens.
It's time for the biggest story of the day. This is what made the cut with JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Trajan Wealth brings you this portion of the program, TRAJAN Wealth.com. That's Trajan Wealth for all your trusted local needs in retirement. Jay Stevens joining us on the program. Jay, what's going on, man?
Gentlemen, just glad to be here, ready to talk about some hockey, and just got back from Vegas. Enjoying the weekend early, I guess you could say.
Oh, yeah.
Sweet.
Let me ask you this, Jay. The mustache, of course, is a signature calling card for you. Now,
Yes.
part of that's the the firefighting background on top of the hockey. I don't know if it's a playoff situation for you. Do you have any bets going on with any of your Canadian friends about Team USA and Canada and shaving the mustache? Is that part of the thing that's on the line here at any point for you?
You know, it hasn't come up yet. It would depend on what my Canadian friends were willing to put on the table. The crazy thing is, I would shave this and I could have it back in like 6 weeks. So it's
if you're looking, you can watch Jay, by the way, live here on our stream, and it is an aggressive mustache right now. It is, but you've got the Team USA hockey hat on as well.
Yes.
First round, they get the W, and it was, you got to get your skates under you for a minute, and it took a little bit for Team USA. Team Canada showed no such, having to ease into it with anything in their first round matchup. They look like the dominant Canadians that they usually are. Thoughts so far on this one, and who are the teams to watch in this thing besides Team USA and Team Canada?
Well, there's been a couple surprises, but we'll start with what was happening with Team USA. And Latvia, for whatever, I don't know how they pull it off every year, but Latvia is always that team that manages to steal a win. It's usually Canada. We've seen that before with them, that especially in World Juniors, Latvia just has Canada's number for some reason. So, you could say U.S. struggled a little bit or whatever in the first period. Remember, we had 2 goals called back for Team USA, which those weren't. That's the rules. That's how it goes. But I thought the U.S. kind of showed a little bit of rust at the beginning and then started dominating. Goaltending is going to be awesome for the U.S. And that's a question for Canada because they're really not sure on Jordan Bennington and if he's going to really be their number one guy, but they're going to ride him just like the U.S. is going to ride Hellebuck, and 2 proven goaltenders going forward for both countries. And yeah, Canada's power play looks super dangerous. And, that Macklin Celebrini is just everything everybody's thought he was going to be. And he's already showing that he could be the league MVP this year. And it's just been fun to watch that part, watching Canada just be so dominant. I think the U.S. is going to be also dominant. I think it's like 63% believe Canada is going to win it, and then the rest is that U.S. is going to win it. And you're going to have somebody. Everybody thought Sweden would be the other key, but Sweden took a loss. They lost to Finland, which is that's their rival, and that was a pretty big loss for them. So I thought Sweden would be the sneaky team. Keep an eye on Latvia. See if Czechia can't get something going. That's kind of the other team that should be good NHL wise.
Looking at what the Americans did in that first game against Latvia, I thought it was interesting that you'd expect the big name. You expect Austin Matthews to score a goal, and he did in the third period. Brady Tkachuk got in on the scoring. Tage Thompson's a great player. They get 2 goals from Brock Nelson. What does that say about the depth of this United States hockey team?
Well, it's exactly what they thought it was going to be. And the reason a guy like Brock Nelson is in the lineup and is on the team instead of even having Keller in the lineup or, everybody wanted Jason Roberts from Dallas, is Brock Nelson is a gritty player and he'll go to the front and pay the price. Not that the other guys won't, but he's just got more experience at it. And you saw he was in the right place at the right time and got some blue collar goals. And that's what the U.S. is banking on, is that they're going to be a blue-collar team. At times it's going to look pretty. At times it's going to look like the Harlem Globetrotters, which is what a lot of people are comparing the Canadian power play to. You're going to see a lot of those pretty passes. But when it comes right down to it, those gritty games, USA-Canada, it's going to be battles in the corner, battles in front of the net, and it's going to be some hardcore fun-time hockey. And that's why the team's built this way. And you're going to see scoring from all 4 lines. And I expect we're going to see Keller pretty soon, but all 4 lines are going to be deep. They're always going to have a threat on the ice, and they're also going to have the physicality on the ice.
Jay, when you see these guys who hit the ice, I think everybody was so excited to see Clayton Keller, obviously named to Team USA. And then we see the reality of how competitive the Team USA is, because we saw a healthy scratch from Clayton Keller before. Are we going to see him hit the ice at some point? And why is it that, you make the team and yet at the same time you actually don't necessarily feel like it feels a little bit like the Olympic alternate type of a deal?
Yeah, it's absolutely insane to see a guy of Clayton Keller's pedigree, his history, his talent, to see a guy like that healthy scratched for no other reason than, they just have so much depth. And then you look at the roster and you're like, where would you put him in? Because typically he plays on the right side. So do you want to pull out Jack Hughes or, Tage Thompson? I would like to see them maybe take out JT Miller and see if Clayton can play on the left side. But it's tough for a guy like that that's been an all-star, that's always been the best in the every locker room he's ever been in. He's the best player. And then you come to the Olympics and you just see this, we talk about the spoils of the riches that the U.S. has and that Canada has this year too. It's nice to see the U.S. be so built. This is a product of a lot of hard work and effort on USA Hockey's part to have so much depth. It took 10, 15 years to build this type of roster. And if you look at the kids coming up, you're going to see that USA Hockey is going to be this good for a long time, where you can have a captain of an NHL team healthy scratched into the stands. But I do think we'll see Keller. I think they want to get an idea of what everybody can do on the ice. Tomorrow would be probably the best day as they take on Denmark. I don't see that being much of a challenge. They could get out and almost like have a good scrimmage and see how the other guys can do. Germany on Sunday is going to be a little bit of a challenge for the U.S. I don't think it's going to be much, but I'd expect the U.S. coaching staff will have their roster pretty much finished and figure out who's going to play where on Sunday. That'll give you a good idea of how the rest of the Olympics are going to go.
I know that there's a lot of Americans that are going to be really excited to follow and cheer for this women's hockey team that is just absolutely dominant right now. We talked about it earlier. They've only given up 1 goal so far in this entire tournament. What is it? Where do they rank, and how do you see that playing out with the women's team? Is there anybody outside of Canada that can challenge them in this tournament?
No, there really isn't. And just watching how they just dominated Canada. I don't know if you guys got to see that
Yes.
game. And it's so much fun to see, Utah resident Hillary Knight. I think this is her 4th Olympics. She's just a legend. 4 games played. She's already got 5 points. She's a +4. So which I guess they've only given up 1 goal in 4 games. I think the one was it was Latvia early. And I don't think that one counted.
Yeah.
So in most of their games that count, they've got a 5-0 shutout, and then today was the 6-0. So it's just watching how dominant that the women are. And again, that just goes back to USA Hockey buying into this 10, 15 years ago, just saying like, this is how we're going to build. This is how we're going to make our team stronger. We're going to put the time, effort, and money. They've really developed, these small games that they play. I mean, USA Hockey from the age of 5 to 8 years old is trying to teach these kids to be Olympic athletes. And they've taken over coaching, and they've tried to give instruction from top to bottom so that every kid is growing up and has the opportunity to reach their potential to be an Olympic athlete. So you can see like what's going on right now with the U.S. women's hockey, which is what happened with soccer 10 years ago, right? Like nobody could touch U.S. soccer before on the women's side. And I think it's going to be a while before anybody catches back up with what USA Hockey's done with women.
Over to the men's side of things, when you talk about Team USA and where that program has gotten, it seems to be in that back and forth conversation between them and Canada all the time. Is it just kind of I don't know how it works out with the preliminary rounds versus the quarterfinal, semifinals. I would imagine that those guys would find themselves matching up at the very least in the semifinals, but I think a finals matchup is one that people are looking forward to. What's the reality as to where Team USA and Team Canada match up at this moment right now in time with the two teams, their setups, and their rosters over in Italy?
I think Canada's got just a little bit of an edge just on the line 1 versus line 1. You've just got some scoring that's going to – I think the physicality on the U.S. side can counter Canada's offense. I think that's what you're going to start seeing is you're going to see the Tkachuk brothers out against Connor McDavid. And give him credit. I was looking at the stat earlier. Connor McDavid, the most points scored by an NHL player in one Olympics coming into this Olympics was by Saku Koivu and Teemu Selanne. They each had 11 throughout the entire Olympics. And in 2 games, Connor McDavid already has 6 points. So granted, they haven't had great competition, but that's how the Olympics have always been. So just seeing what these guys are doing, that line 1's going to be really good. You're going to see U.S. try to match that with physicality. And then the U.S. is going to have to go lines 2 and 3 to get scoring off of. And as I look at Team USA's second line, that's going to be Gensel, Matthews, and Boldy. That's a pretty good second line matchup. I think that's where you're going to see the like you were talking about before. You got scoring you got 2 goals from Brock Nelson on the 4th line. That's the kind of stuff that's going to have to happen for USA to beat Canada. Canada's clearly the favorite. US is right there behind them. This will be, and I think if the 4 nations would have gone a little bit different, if goaltending would have gone a little bit more the US's way, I think coming into the Olympics, everybody would have put the US at the top. But I think that 4 nations thing with Canada winning it and even, matching the physicality that the US put out there, that's what gives them the favorite right now. I think it goes back to the miracle on ice. Everybody thinks somebody's going to win it, and the US is going to come through and prove them wrong.
We're going to enjoy hockey at the Olympics, but at the same time, I think Mammoth fans are having a little bit of a Mammoth and NHL withdrawal. So I wanted to have a little bit of Mammoth talk today because we haven't talked to you since the break happened. And as the break happens, the Mammoth are in that top wild card spot, 64 points. With 25 games left to go, what do the Mammoth have to do to protect that number 1 wild card spot? Are they in a good position to do so?
I think they're absolutely in a good position to do so. I think we're going to see Logan Cooley added back to the lineup right after the Olympics, which is huge. You can't underestimate how important he is to Utah right now and Utah's future. But the one thing they need to do to protect the position they have is not act like they're protecting this position. You need to see them go out and play like they played on that last homestand where you were just getting contributions down the line. Everybody was playing at practices. Cole Bagley and I get to go and watch the practice. There's been real intense practices followed by intense laughter and a good time. And I think they're just right at that balance. And I know some parents and some other coaches are going to hate to hear me say this, but when the guys are having fun, they play a lot better. And John Cooper, who's supposed to be the best coach in the NHL, makes sure his team's always having fun. We were seeing that from the Mammoth. We were seeing more fun as they were winning. And, winning is fun, right? But you're seeing more winning. You're seeing more fun. And then every once in a while, if you don't hit that exact mark, the bear comes right back down on you and reminds you that this is serious. Have fun with it. But, every little detail counts from here on out. I think as long as they keep playing that way, as long as the Mammoth have that same mentality as we're not protecting something, we're chasing something else. They don't want to settle and go on that prevent defense like you see in football. You want to just see that aggressive offense, those guys having a good time and scoring a lot of those glorious goals that you're seeing.
I'm sure we'll get more of an idea when they come back from the break what they did during the break, the guys who are on the team, but I would imagine that the practice facilities are filled up quite a bit with these guys. There's not a lot of time that they're taking off. In fact, I think the coach alluded to it. They're not taking time off. They are busting their butts. They're practicing. They'll probably get a day or two here or there, obviously, but this is a team that probably is likely just – I think the break coming at this time is a two-edged sword there because it could be killing a little bit of momentum. You have to kind of get right back to where you were before. You're going to add Logan Cooley after the break, and so – how does this team kind of maintain this while there's a handful of guys from the team that are out at the Olympics and playing for their teams, and then you have the guys here who are still trying to make sure that they're in shape and they're ready to go for the next part of the season?
Yeah, the main thing they're going to do, and I have seen some of the guys, and I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus, but, I follow all of them on Instagram or whatever. Some of them definitely took a minute to hit a beach here and there or take their families to Disneyland, and that's perfect for them, right? They need this little break. It's going to get some of the other guys that are banged up. I mean, you watch how Dursey plays and you watch how many hard hits he takes and delivers. And same with McBain. Those guys play such a physical game. I just like to see them go to the beach for a few days and let all those wounds heal because we need them to keep playing the way they've been playing for the Mammoth. It's fun to watch as a fan. Those guys are so much fun to watch right now. I think that's going to benefit Utah in the long run. I think it benefits, it's hard to say if it's going to benefit one NHL team more than the other. Colorado's got a lot of guys over there in the Olympics, and so hopefully that they stay tired, and even our guys that are over there aren't getting played. Veggie hasn't touched the ice yet. Keller hasn't touched the ice in a game yet. So maybe those guys come back a little more rested, and this works out perfectly for the Utah Mammoth. That's what I think is going to happen. You're going to see a healthier Mammoth team return to the ice, and they're going to be fired up and ready to go. And they're enjoying the success that they're having. So let's keep it going.
When the NHL gets back on the ice, the topic is going to be the trade deadline because it's coming up on March 5th. How aggressive should the Mammoth be at this deadline?
Not aggressive at all. And I know a lot of people jump down my throat when I say that on the podcast and when I say it online. This is part of the plan. The plan was to get 7 points better every year, and they've done it every year for the last 4 or 5 years that Bear's been coaching this group. And they're exactly where they said they were going to be. And you can't get antsy and say, hey, I see this guy's available from Vancouver or this guy's available from St. Louis. And, Utah has some real deep ties with St. Louis. But all those trades, I think, would cost too much of what they've taken so long to build. Because, if you're going to go after somebody that's going to take you deeper in the playoffs this year, you're going to have to give up a Ginla or, one of those players that somebody else is going to want for a long time. And I just don't see Utah doing that. I don't see any reason for them to panic and go out and get another player this year. The goal is to get all these guys playoff experience. They're right where they want to be. This is more than halfway through the season. So I know it's easy to get excited and play Game of Thrones and say like, well, if this piece of the dice moves or this piece of the puzzle goes over here. I just think the Mammoth are built perfectly. And we've got all these young kids coming up that are having a hard time. I mean, Simashev's having a hard time breaking the lineup. He's a phenomenal player. There's probably 20 other teams in the NHL. He'd be the third pair of D. So I think Utah's right where they want to be. I don't expect very much movement at the trade deadline.
Okay. Jay, real quick before we get out, I did want to ask about Veggie because I know that Czechia got their butts handed to them in the first round, obviously, by Team Canada. And Veggie wasn't the guy. But then the very next morning, they went with their, I think what would be considered their third goalie because it's a guy who's, I don't even know who ended up playing, but I don't know what's Carl Vamelka's situation at the Olympics, and why haven't they put him in yet? My heavens.
Yeah, I was really surprised that they left Dostal in for the entire shellacking that they were getting against Canada. I thought maybe they'd give him some reprieve after it got 5-0. Maybe give Veggie or give the other goalie the third period. I'm forgetting who their other goalie is all of a sudden. But I anticipate that we'll see Veggie. I mean, he's literally in the discussion for the Vezina for being one of the best goalies in the NHL this year for what he's meant to his team. You would think a guy like that would get a game here pretty quick. So the next game for Czechia is on Sunday. They play Switzerland. I suspect you're going to see Veggie play that. It's kind of standard when the NHL guys are there to get all your goalies a game and see who the hot hand is at that time. It'll be hard to tell. I mean, Dostal's a great goaltender, and what he's done for the Ducks, everybody knows and respects. But I just think you're going to see Veggie on Sunday against Switzerland.
He's Jay Stevens, Utah Puck Reporters, where you can find his podcast and always get great insights from him. And we're, of course, looking forward to the rest of this Olympic tournament. I think we're all a little bit more in the mood for the rest of the NHL season, though. It's a nice little break, and it is a nice tournament. I mean, you watch all these guys, the talent that's put together, you go, man, this is amazing. But at the same time, we're selfish. We want to see the Mammoth back on the ice, and so can't wait for that. Jay, thanks for hanging out with us on a Friday. Have a good holiday weekend and take her easy, man.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys.
There you go. Jay Stevens. Yeah, I saw Veggie didn't. I was the first game.
Weird, right? I thought it was odd. I mean, he's clearly one of the best in the NHL and best in the world.
Yeah, and it's not like in game one it was like, well, their goalie was just despicable. Like Team Canada was running. At some point, you can't. When Connor McDavid passes like that, it's wild. To get into the spot where you go, I'm passing like this, it's easy for me. And not only that, you wait till the last second to make a pass, and then I don't care what goaltender's in the goal, you're going to get 5 or 6 goals scored on you if they're able to move the puck around like Team Canada has so far. And, they're going to be tough to beat. I had the same vibe where I was like, I know Team USA has been in that number 1, number 2 spot most of the way, kind of in the world hockey rankings. Team Canada still feels like always the team to beat.
Sure.
Not just always the team to beat,
until someone else wins gold. You're
right.
Absolutely right.
Nobody, it feels actually more like the last year, the Four Nations tournament was awesome. Team USA loses in the final round in the final after beating them in the first go around, but it just feels like Canada's still right there, and Team USA hasn't necessarily improved from that. But we'll see. The Olympics have the Quad King. I've been saying it all day, JJ. By the way, I was looking at this, but Vegas odds had that Ilya Malinin guy.
Yeah.
They had him at a 99% chance to win gold. And
anything is possible.
And he didn't even make the podium. And
the
he
1% one out there. Oof.
And he wasn't even in the top. He was top. He was 8th. He finished 8th.
Brutal.
He fell twice. Just stuff that has never happened to this guy. So, Anyway, if you want more hot figure skating talk, we got it coming around the corner here. I'm just kidding. I'm getting away from it. No, I know. We don't need to talk about it. Okay? Our producer trying to keep us in line here. It's fine. Annapolis, we're fine. We'll be okay. We'll come back. We've got our Jazz Daily next. We've also got more to chat about with our best and worst coming up. So stay here, 97.5 EKSL Sports Zone.
You know what's coming.
Your daily deep dive into everything Utah Jazz.
It's time.
All season long and even in the off season. It's Jazz Daily with JJ and Alex on your exclusive home of Utah Jazz basketball. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Of course, you know what that music means. Let's talk a little bit of Jazz basketball, NBA basketball. Thanks for being with us on the program. Thanks for hanging out with us before your holiday weekend kicks off, wherever you might be. Safe travels down to southern Utah if you're going down there. That goes for my kid, too. He's going to go down and play some golf. And, hey, be good out there, kid.
Should be a great weekend to do it.
Yeah, I think the weather is actually supposed to hold up down. And it's one of those weekends where you're like, ooh, it's a little nasty here. Might be nice down in southern Utah. So, but it's always one of those where you're going, hey, relax a little bit. You know what I mean? We don't all need to get there immediately. And it's one of those weekends that's admittedly not fun a lot of times when you're on the road and you're in Panguitch and you're like, why are we down to 25 miles an hour here?
Yeah.
A lot of people making that trip down there, so just be careful out there, y'all. When do the 100 Deadliest Days kick off? I mean, I'm not trying to go dark here, but Memorial Day weekend, right?
I think
We're not
so,
there
yeah.
yet, but
yeah. By the
still,
way,
though.
65 and sunny on Saturday in St. George.
Nice.
65, a little overcast on Sunday. Better beat that rain coming on Monday.
Okay.
But perfect golf weather.
It should be. And, but like we said, make sure you take care of yourselves out there. I was, before we get into the Jazz, I was looking at just how, like, All-Star Weekend, I'll remind you what the rosters are. So Kawhi did end up making the team. He was the replacement for the injured SGA, I think, on the list. Anybody else end up sneaking in on the last part of the lineup there? I know we had our own Ace Bailey getting named to there, but were there any other surprises on the rosters for?
De'Aaron Fox just snuck in.
Ooh, look at that!
A replacement for Giannis. And that you thought maybe that was a spot where Lauri Markkanen could have got a shot, but that's not how it worked. Alperen Şengün replaced Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Oh,
Brandon Ingram is replacing Steph Curry. And you did mention.
wait, who'd Kawhi get
I think
in
he was
for
just
then?
added.
Just as we forgot.
Basically, yeah. Let me look into that.
I don't really know what the actual. Will you explain to me what the actual All-Star game setup is?
He was
now?
a special selection to fulfill roster requirements for the new U.S. versus World format. That's why.
How does that work? How is it going to work?
There's going to be 3 teams.
3 or 4? Okay, 2 international teams and 1 American?
2 U.S. teams, 1 international.
Okay.
So you have 24 players, 8 players for each team.
Ooh, SGA, that's a tough miss for the international guys.
A big loss, yeah. So they had to replace him with Şengün, who's a great player, by the way, and very deserving All-Star. So maybe that was a spot that would have went to Lowry, but they had Şengün higher on the list, and I get it. Şengün played more games.
I'm just the format for me seems like it's not necessarily going to work.
I get what they're doing, and I think it was inspired by watching the success of Four Nations with the NHL last year. I mean, that was a phenomenon for 2 weeks, right?
Yeah,
it was crazy to see the interest that generated in the sport of hockey for that 2-week period.
I think you get this miniature, if you can build in some version of, because allegiances start to get switched up, obviously, and I think that if you're looking at this and you go, okay, we won't really know. Maybe if the players show up for this one and they go, oh no, we're gonna have some we're having some USA pride here, man, or the other team's going, we're gonna show you that we're the best, because the international roster might actually be more impressive than the.
Do you want me to read it off?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so this is the international. This is Team World.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I mentioned Giannis and Shea are out.
Got it.
We have Denny Avdia, who's been a great story with the Portland Trailblazers, Luka Doncic, Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, Alperen Şengün, Pascal Siakam, Karl Anthony Towns, Victor Wembanyama, and Norman Powell. That's going to be a really good team. Victor Wembanyama, if he tries, I think let's just assume for the rest of the segment that I'm talking about if they try and give it their best.
It was
Doncic, Jokic, and Wembanyama on the same team. Woo, boy.
What? Okay, let me ask you this. What's the okay, help me out with Cat, because I think isn't he a New Jersey native? Oh no, didn't he play for the Dominican Republic national team because his mom is
correct?
Okay, so he's technically got dual citizenship because mom was a Dominican national, and so
correct.
Okay.
Yep, he's representing the Dominican Republic.
I know he's American born,
but he was born in New Jersey.
Okay.
Yes, I think Donovan Mitchell. He has a grandparent, I believe, who's Panamanian, and he was willing to be considered for the Team World as because he has Panamanian.
No, just
relatives.
I mean, we already all know that.
Right.
Looks very Panamanian, whatever that means. No, he's just, I mean, come on. Of course, I knew of his deep Panamanian
whatever
heritage.
we have to do here to get these rosters to work is essentially what's happening.
Give me a good game. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Have guys
make this interesting.
18% more interested in playing hard, and then I'll be excited about it. The Jazz, of course, Ryan Smith told Bobby Marks maybe my favorite thing that was said during this entire exchange. He says, look, taking fines is like paying the luxury tax in the prior CBA. That's what Bobby Marks said of ESPN. And he said, if it gives you a competitive advantage, or in this case, a chance to draft and keep an impact player, billionaire owners will pay the fine. Now, if we're taking away roster resources, that's a different story. My favorite was Ryan Smith's immediate reaction to that, which was a reply tweet for everybody to see. Hey, Bobby, maybe sit this one out. You have no clue what paying this is like, and your amnesia this week is comical. I do think it's funny. I mean, I think that you commenting on what it's like for us billionaires to pay $500,000, like, you probably should not comment on that, because this whole like, oh, you know what these billionaire owners are like. They're not real humans. Like, that's kind of the vibe that he gave off with the comment, right? And that's why he's like, hey, just sit this one out. You have no clue what it takes to pay a $500,000 fine. It's not fun cutting that check.
I think Ryan Smith had enough of Bobby Marks this week, and I don't blame him. Bobby Marks, the amnesia he's referring to is a number of things, but specifically, how about this? The Toronto Raptors last year, at this time, 1 year ago, regularly rested their all-star Scotty Barnes late in close games, helping them to lose games and improve their draft odds. And yes, they were in the lottery.
Yeah.
So, was there any talk about what the Toronto Raptors did last year? Very similar thing. Not a peep, not a word. Nobody said anything. Yeah, that was the Cooper Flag draft. There was a lot of tanking going on last year.
It was a strange moment.
Jazz included.
It was a strange moment this week where Utah suddenly became the outrage bait that everybody needed. Napolis, you put the headset on like you were gonna. Oh, okay.
Oh.
He took your.
No, I want to hear your take.
He took your answer.
No, it was just the old tweets from Bobby Marks resurfacing about justifying youth movement and youth development.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thanks for bringing that up.
Maybe sit this one out is one of my favorite things you can say. Hey, go ahead and maybe sit this one out.
You greased the wheels for some of these teams last year, and now you're taking a shot at the Jazz for doing the same exact thing.
I just hate the idea of like.
Speaking of integrity.
Yeah, I hate that. And Bobby Marks got the most pub this week that he's probably ever gotten. Am I wrong?
Too much,
in his entire career.
Yeah.
So, yeah, go ahead and sit this one out. It's like, go ahead and sit back down, because I'm kind of annoyed by having to. And this is a guy who was in a front office, right? I mean, he was an assistant GM for 6 years in the league for
he
the
understands
freaking Nets.
How this works.
Of course he does. I just
He's
think it's hilarious.
He's participated in this before.
It's ridiculous. Okay. Let's take a break. We'll come back and we'll put a bow on this hour, and we'll keep you going here. Stay with us. Best and worst next, 97.5 VKSL Sports Zone.
Wrapping up the hour with our picks for the best and worst moments on today's show. As JJ and Alex want to hear your best and worst of the day.
All right, everybody, welcome back. JJ and Alex, 97.5 VKSL Sports Zone. Alex Kirry, Jeremiah Jensen, thanks for hanging out with us, everybody. Let me see here, JJ. I'm trying to. Okay. So Bad Bunny didn't just have a good week playing in the Super Bowl. Did you see this? Malik Beasley has just signed to play in Puerto Rico for Bad Bunny's basketball team that he owns. That's right, Malik Beasley.
Wait. Bad Bunny owns a basketball team?
Yeah, not Bugs Bunny. Bad Bunny owns a professional basketball team in Puerto Rico called the Santurce Crabbers. Mm-hmm. That's a real one.
Crabbers is kind of a cool mascot. Unique.
Yeah. One of my favorite is
I
think Hermosillo, Mexico has a Naranjeros baseball team. Like the orange, basically the Orangers, like the orange pickers, basically, like the orange, because obviously there's a big orange crop there, and it's just a guy with a giant orange head swinging a baseball bat. It's like the Oriole, like the old school Oriole bird, but just imagine that with a big old orange. It's got like, and the hair is even like the green leaves.
Like an orange on a toothpick.
That's what it looks like. So, yeah, Crabbers is pretty good. So, Malik Beasley's going to be the newest Crabber.
Okay. Congratulations, Malik Beasley, former Jazzman.
Yeah. It's all part of the, I mean, is this the upper, JJ, you'd know this. Is this the upper division of Puerto Rican basketball?
There can't be more than one division, right?
Yeah.
How many pro teams can you have in Puerto Rico?
Nacional. Yeah. Yeah, so it's going to fire up in March. Malik Beasley. We hardly knew you. And you know what? We're not going to miss you for very long. You're going to be playing in Puerto Rico. So there you go. Baboni and Malik Beasley. The combo that you didn't know that you needed on a Friday afternoon.
It's crazy how much money he would be making right now for the Detroit Pistons, and instead he's playing for Bad Bunny's team in Puerto Rico because of the gambling stuff.
Well, you can do it down there. I would imagine. Just makes it more fun. We'll take you in this league.
It's all-gambling basketball league.
I know.
It reminds me of the steroid Olympics on Saturday Night Live.
They're going to have, dude. I'm not kidding. I listened to like a Freakonomics
the
podcast
all-drug
this
Olympics.
Week. There's a company that is dead set on having these enhanced games, and they're making it at a resort in Las Vegas, and everything is going to be enhanced weightlifting, enhanced swimming, and enhanced field events or track events.
Enhanced.
And the whole thing is like they're not hiding it. They just want to see what the human can do, the most that a human body can do if we just
under the influence.
If we just totally inject ourselves with synthetics. Okay?
All I can see is Phil Hartman having his arms ripped off while trying to deadlift.
Trying to deadlift. Yeah.
That's what you're going to see in Vegas when this event goes on.
Freaking serious.
Oh, my gosh.
And the idea was, and every one of these events is going to be, look it up. It's crazy. This company is like pouring tons of money into this. And investors are too, because it's just going to be, just as soon as you thought that Vegas couldn't come up with more insane things to entertain you with, it's going to be at some of these, at one of these big resorts. They're building it like purpose built for these games.
We're getting closer and closer to Roman gladiator type stuff.
1,000%. And it's $500,000 for each purse for each one of these big races.
Wow.
So it's like 100-meter dash in 8.4. Ben Johnson shows up.
Ben Johnson is back.
You guys called?
65-year-old Ben Johnson is finally eligible to race.
He's still around. Is he still with us?
Of course he is.
Okay. I just didn't know.
I actually don't know.
I was going to say, hey, it's a quick fact check before we get out of here on the air. I want to make sure we go into the weekend not knowing if Ben Johnson's dead or not. I feel like
How much time do I have?
21 seconds.
I mean, Ben Johnson now is not an easy Google search because of the Chicago Bears.
Oh, yeah, of course. Well, you probably look up Canada and syringes.
He is 64 years old. He is still with us.
Okay. All right. Well, bring him back. You know what I mean? I just think it'd be fascinating. And I'll be like, that's disgusting. Where do I find it? Like, we've done everything else to try to entertain people, so why not that?
I guess.
Okay. We'll come back again around the corner here, so just stay right here.
I hope we will.
I know. Come right here dialed in, 97.5 EKSL Sports Zone.